a man went to the forest to spend some time with God. He sat down under a tree and closed his eyes in prayer. But soon he heard a voice that said, "Get up, I want to talk to you." He opened his eyes and saw an old man with a long white beard standing in front of him. The man was startled and asked, "Who are you?" The old man replied, "I am who you are expecting. I am the prophet you have been waiting for." The man couldn't believe his ears. He had been longing for the prophet to come and guide him on his spiritual path for many years. And now the prophet was standing in front of him, overwhelmed with joy. The man fell to his knees and said, "Oh, great prophet, please forgive my sins and heal my sickness." The prophet placed his hands on the man's head and blessed him. "Go in peace," he said, "and remember what I have told you." As the man walked away, he couldn't stop thinking about what had just happened. He had seen the prophet and received his blessing. But then he realized that he didn't know the prophet's name or where he lived. The man felt a sense of urgency and turned back to look for the prophet, but he had vanished. Disappointed, the man decided to return home. On the way, he sat down on a nearby hill and closed his eyes in thought. Suddenly, he heard a voice that said, "Why are you sad?" He opened his eyes and saw a beautiful woman with long flowing hair sitting next to him. Startled, the man replied, "I have just come from the forest where the prophet was standing, but now I cannot find him. I feel lost and don't understand what to do." The woman smiled and said, "Do not worry, for I am the prophet you are looking for." The man was shocked. Could this beautiful woman be the prophet he had longed for? He couldn't believe it, but something in her words and demeanor convinced him that she was indeed the prophet. Overjoyed, the man fell to his knees before her and said, "Oh, great prophet, please forgive my sins and heal my sickness." The prophet placed her hands on the man's head and blessed him. "Go in peace," she said, "and remember what I have told you." The man returned home feeling blessed and grateful for the opportunity to meet the prophet. From that day on, he shared his experience with others, telling them about the prophet's kindness and wisdom. Many people listened to his story and decided to seek out the prophet themselves. And they, too, experienced her healing touch. The news of the prophet's miracles spread far and wide, and she became known throughout the land for her ability to heal the sick and guide the lost. People from all walks of life came to her seeking help, and she never turned anyone away. She listened to their problems and offered them guidance and support, and many were transformed by her words. One day, a group of religious leaders approached the prophet and asked her to perform a miracle for them, so that they could believe in her. She smiled and said, "If you want to see a miracle, then go to the man who was blind from birth and ask him if he has seen a miracle in his life." Intrigued, the religious leaders went to the blind man and asked him if he had witnessed a miracle. He replied, "Yes, I was blind, but now I can see because the Lord has opened my eyes." The religious leaders were astonished. They realized that they had been wrong to doubt the prophet, and they fell to their knees before her and asked her to forgive them. The prophet forgave them and told them to go out and spread the word about the miracles she had performed. And so the story of the prophet continued to be passed down through generations, inspiring people to believe in the power of faith and the importance of helping those in need.